Hello everyone, welcome to another flight sim product review video. Today we are going to look at the Rowsfire A106 A320 Pro V2 overhead panel by Rowsfire and promoted by Mechdiy. A huge thanks to Mechdiy for sending this unit for the purpose of this review. This is a very impressive product. However, the unit I got came with a couple of issues, so stick around if you want to see what those were. Anyway guys, let's go ahead and pop this box open and let's take a look at what we have inside. I'll give you my first impression first, then go test everything in detail in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. It has some foam here, which is again some extra protection, and you see all these little holes here. They are protecting all the switches on this overhead panel. So carefully take this out. Right, here we got some QR code. I guess this is going to take you to some sort of user guide to be able to set this up. We're gonna put this aside for now. This looks to me, yeah, instructions. That's going to take you pretty much to some sort of website or document that's online that's gonna help you set this up. Right, let's see what else we have here. After receiving the goods, please scan the QR code. The QR code contains the driver files, configuration manual. Please download them and follow the steps to operate and start. Looking here, we have a USB-C cable with a funny color, and I usually see either blue for USB 3, but this one is interesting. But yeah, let's take a look and see how long this cable is. This is probably, I think it's just your typical length for a USB cable, like a meter long if I am to guess. Let's take a look here at the unit. So this is actually metal now, which is something that changed from when I first was introduced to this product and now, I guess. So, and as you can see right here, indeed we have some mounting capability. So initially, the images that I received about this product, like the shelf here, was just 3D printed, and we have some sort of double-sided tapes, if I'm not mistaken, to fix the panel somewhere, I guess, in your rig. But anyway, we do have some mounting, which is good. Here, as you can see, we have some dents for ventilation. Now, let me show you the monitor mount. Okay, so let's see. Let's do some measurements first of all on this mounting. Let's just measure the distance between these guys right here. $75. Yep, it will work. It is a standard VESA mount, 75mm. And right here, we have pretty much the knob that we're gonna use to control the backlighting on the panel. Just keep in mind that this knob right here, as far as I know, is not going to control the overhead panel backlight on the aircraft. As you can see right here, this is pretty much the panel. Just to give you some measurements here. All right, so as you can see right here, we have 104.6mm height. Up to here we have 154. Yeah, like 200 and some, I'll say 210 maybe millimeters. I am not sure if we have any measurements on the box. Maybe I'll take a look later. We can already see, if we start from the upper left side, we can see right here we only have one, I guess, IRS or Adhere's knob here. On the actual aircraft, you have 3. What that means is that whenever you switch this from off to nav mode, that'll translate in all 3 adheres knobs, captain, first officer, and the backup unit going to nav mode. If you think about it, if you are going to be flying, just doing normal operation type of flight, this is 100% fine and probably all you need, to be honest. Here we got the GPWS switch, and we got the oxygen crew supply switch. Right here we have the APU bleed switch. We got the fuel pump switch, just one fuel pump switch here. And of course on the aircraft you have multiple fuel pump switches. That's gonna have the same behavior as this adheres knob here. When you switch this on or off, it'll make a change on all of the fuel pumps in the aircraft that you're flying. Here we have the electrical little panel here. We got the battery 1 and 2, just handled by just one switch right here. And the same applies. If you switch this on and off, it's going to manipulate both battery switches on the aircraft. So here we have the external power switch. And as you can see, I'm not sure if you already noticed, all of these buttons, they have backlighting. We're gonna take a look at that once we hook this up on the on my computer and give it a test drive. Here you got pretty much all the lights that you have on a real airplane, and all of them have the same, I guess, multi position type of switches. Of course, for those that actually have multiple position on the real aircraft. For example, the strobe lights got 3 positions. We got the off, the auto, and the on. Right now we are in the off position, auto, on. Here's the beacon light, off position, on. So this one's got just a 2 position switch, on and off. Here we got the wind light, same thing, 2 position switch. And here we have the nav and logo light, 3 position switch, off, 1 and 2. Same goes for the other lights here, the other external lights, as for example the runway turn off light and the landing lights. Here we got the nose, taxi and takeoff light. And pretty much here, if we go down, you got the APU Master Switch, and you have the HBU starter switch. Going down here, we have the packs, the air conditioning, or the packs 1 and 2 integrated into one switch. So the same applies for this switch. This will control pack 1 and 2 on the aircraft. Here you got the anti-ice, you have the wind anti-ice switch, and then you have engine 1 and 2 anti-ice switch. Down here you have the cabin sign switches. You have the seatbelt sign switch, 2 position switch, off and on. You have the no smoking sign switch, 3 position switch, off, auto, on. And then you have the emergency light right here, 3 position switch, off, arm, and on. And right here you have a single button for the call. This is just for the cabin communication. The color looks really nice, very similar to the color that Winwing uses on their product. This may be a little bit more of a grayish type of blue here, but still this looks really nice. But you can see Winwing products, they are really, like the blue, it's really catchy. Honestly, for the overhead panel, this one, it is way more closer to the real thing than this one. Of course, on real aircraft, you're gonna see a lot of this component with a slight difference in color. So that's to be expected pretty much, I guess. But this one to me looks more close to what you have on the actual airplane. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and hook this up. Can I go through the some of the setup procedure here? As far as I know, we're gonna need to use Mobiflight. Okay guys, so first off, here we have the Mechdiy website where you can find more details about the Rowsfire A106 overhead panel. As you can see from here, this is the price that's showing up for me based in Europe, 172 euros here. To this, you're gonna have to add some tax and potentially some shipping cost. There looks to be some sort of discount at the minute, 15% off I'm not sure if the ply that's showing up here is already, I guess, showing off that discount, but I've seen this unit in the past at about $200, so maybe this is the discounted version. One other thing, take a look here at the variations or versions of the panel. This 3D panel shell, this was the one that I saw initially from Mechdiy, which didn't have any mounting solution. Now the one that I just got from Mechdiy is this one here, which is the aluminum alloy shell. This one is the one that provides you the capability for mounting, and to me this one has much more better quality than if it was 3D printed. Alright, so using this QR code we land on this Google Drive, and as you can see from here we have two directories, one for install the software and the other one for the configuration file. Going into the configuration directory, we have multiple files. Now for this version of the panel that I have, which is the one that has the metal shell, the Mobiflight profile that we need to download is the one that says version 2. So that's the one that we need to download pretty much. If you have any other version of the panel that doesn't have the metal shell, then don't use version 2. You might want to use I guess either of the other two that we have here. Now if we go into the install the software directory, here we got two main software. We have the FSUIPC7, which I already have. Then we have the Mobiflight software version 10.5. So my recommendation is just get Mobiflight straight from the official Mobiflight website. Just make sure that you are on 10.5 or newer. And aside from that, if you already have Mobiflight, the only thing you really need from this drive is the Mobiflight profile for this panel, which is this little file on the top. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and launch Mobiflight, which again I already had it installed. Looks like there's a new update here, which I will go ahead and install here. Just gonna click OK here as well. Let's click OK again. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to File and then Open. Say no here. And now I need to go to that directory where I downloaded those files, and I only need this .mcc file right here. Select it. Press OK. And now here you're gonna be prompted with I guess for you to choose the hardware that you want to map this profile with. And as you can see right here, I have the panel already connected. That's why it's showing up here. And I'll just pretty much click Assign. Press OK. And that's pretty much it. So the only thing that I have pending to do here is just to run Mobiflight here, which I'm not gonna do yet. I will go ahead and start Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 and launch the Fenix A320. Okay, so the simulator is running, as you can see from here. Let's go ahead and bring Mobiflight to the front, and we'll start Mobiflight by clicking on Run right here. And as you can see, Mobiflight is already running, and take a look at the panel. We already see the green available sign on the external power switch. That's a good sign. Okay, so I guess let's start testing this panel and see how it performs here. So we're gonna start with a nav ID here, and as you can see, all three went to the off position. Okay, so now I want to test something. I want to know whether or not I'm gonna be able to move this adhere independently from the panel. While the panel is off, can I switch one of these to the nav mode? And I can. And this is good. If you want to do some failures, you can still have the physical panel on a nav position and still individually switch off or to the ATT position on other adhere knobs. So that's good. All right, so let's go ahead and switch on the battery. There you go. So you can see both of them went on, 1 and 2. We got some really nice true to life lighting or backlight lighting on these switches. Take a look here at some of these switches and you'll see the white light. So Airbus has this methodology that anything in the overhead that has a white light, you have to extinguish by, I guess, enabling a switch or pushing a switch, if you will. So white lights, you don't want to go flying with the overhead with a switch showing a white sign. That's good to have this as well here, which is going to be really useful for when you're flying. Let's get the external power on. As you can see from here, looking good. Even the on backlight on the external power is lighting up as well. Let's get the emergency light to arm. Nice. No smoking light can come on. Navigation light can come on. Crew oxygen supply, as you can see, working seamlessly as well. Really nice. Taxi light, it's also working properly. Landing lights working as they should. Turn off light is working properly too. Strobe light is also working as intended. Beacon light as well. And wing light is working too. Alright, so let's turn on the APU Master Switch. Okay, interesting. I am pushing it in and I'm pretty sure this switch should stay pushed, but it's just returning to the off position here. Let me show you how this is supposed to work in the actual airplane. If we push this in, it should remain in, as you can see from here. That's not exactly what this switch in the overhead panel is doing. It doesn't want to stay in. We have other switches in this panel, such as the APU bleed, the crew oxygen, which when you press them, they stay pushed, as you can see from here. But that's not the case with the master switch for whatever reason. I can probably work around this by just making or modifying the Mobiflight profile so this button here behaves as a toggle instead. But I don't believe this switch is doing what they intended it to do. Alright, so I am going to enable the master switch in the virtual overhead. As you can see, at least the backlight, it's working. So it's really interesting what's going on with this switch here. I think the switch is supposed to stay pushed. So, yeah. Alright, let's try the APU starter. And this one's working as it should. So far, it looks like we have a bass switch for the APU master, apparently. Okay, so you can see here the APU is ready and available. So let's try the APU bleed. And this one also is working fine. I pressed it and it stayed pressed. So the problem we have is with the master switch only, at least so far. Okay, so let's keep testing here. Let's go try the PAX 1 and 2 switch on the physical overhead. Uh-oh. Looks like we have the same problem with this switch. This one is supposed to stay pressed, and it's not happening, just like the problem we have with the APU Master Switch. So this is not good. It looks like we have some switches which are working fine as far as pushing them and then staying pressed, but so far 2 switches are not working, at least not as they should. Not sure if this is exactly what Rowsfire wanted these switches to do, pretty much, but yeah. So yeah, this one is not doing what it's supposed to be doing either. Again, I can solve this problem with Mobiflight profile by just making these switches behave as simple toggles. Let's try the fuel pumps, and this one looks to be working properly. Okay, so let's test the backlight on the overhead panel. Again, I'm not sure, and I doubt this knob that comes on the right side of the panel is going to change anything on the airplane. I think this is just controlling the backlight on the physical panel only. So let's see. Yeah, nothing's happening. You know what? There's nothing happening, not even on the physical panel. I thought this was going to illuminate those backlights, but yeah, it's not working either. There's no switch to enable this manually, so it has to be with this knob. Let me dim my camera lights here, just in case. You see, absolutely no backlight whatsoever. Again, there's no switch here that I have to turn on as far as I can see. So all of this is supposed to work through the main power provided by my computer through the USB port. But just to make sure, I am going to unplug the overhead panel from the port that it is connected on my PC at the minute, and I am going to move it to a power USB hub and give it a second test. Alright, so I'm moving the connection to a power USB hub, and yeah guys, the backlight apparently is also broken, unfortunately. So I have to conclude I may have received a faulty unit here. We got 2 switches, APU Master Switch in the packs, not working as I believe they should, plus the backlight of the physical panel also not working. So that's pretty much it for this review of these overhead panel from Rowsfire and Mechdiy. We got some issues that we've outlined here that hopefully they are not going to be of an issue for actual release units sent to customers that pay for this unit here. Aside from the faults that we've identified here, the unit is working as expected, aside from of course these 2 switches right here and the backlighting not working, guys. So let me know what you think about this unit in the comments section. Is this something that's of interest to you? Will you pull the trigger and get one of these, or would you hold up for some other, I guess, alternative? Be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.